Hi, welcome to our channel. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Hugo.
We're sell quick, ship quick, part-time resellers.
Full-time hustlers.
And we today wanted to talk about a very important yet not so fun and literally talked about.
Yeah, it's literally talked about.
The dreaded inventory check.
Yeah, and in the community, everyone has different ways that they handle their business, and in some cases, people don't do inventory check.
So why do it?
We can't say why everyone else does it, but we can't say why we do it.
So this is our second year-end inventory check. Our first one was at the end of 2018, which was our very first year of reselling. Oh wow, we're on year 2.
I know.
Our reselling anniversary together is January 26th.
Almost.
We are 12 days away from our resellerversary.
Resellerversary.
So last year when we did this, we found a lot of boo-boo buys. Yeah,
that was a big thing. We found a lot of boo-boo buys and the things that never got listed too, I think.
Yeah.
But more was boo-boo buys.
Because we were newbies.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna rhyme it, but newbies and the word that would rhyme with newbies is not.
Yeah. You guys can figure out what it might rhyme with.
So the last 2 weeks of the year, we were on winter break from our regular jobs, which meant that we had time during the day to be 2-week full-time resellers.
Yeah.
Or I did, because I was away from work.
She was away from work. I started to do some restaurant stuff, but either way, it meant being able to sit down and put a long period of time into the inventory.
So I do want to say, I like organizing. I love it. So the inventory check was not as awful for me to perform because I actually like making labels and looking through things and organizing them and putting them in order and creating spreadsheets, and this was actually fun for me. This might not be fun for you.
Yeah.
But the reason why we did do it, not as just a fun thing for me to do as my vacation, as a gift to me, but we wanted to make sure that what we are holding on to is worth our space,
worth our time,
worth our listings, space, time, listings, money, because if you are listing on eBay, depending on your store subscription, you have a certain amount of free listings. Well, we have a premium store, which we pay $59.95 or $59.99 a month, and we get 1,000 free listings. Anything above 1,000 gets charged at 10 cents per listing that month. Well, we were sitting at 1,200 listings, almost 1,200 listings, which meant that 200 of those listings were getting charged at 10 cents a listing. So we wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's 10 cents a listing. It's not that much. But
let's do the math.
Yeah, let's do some math.
So if we have 200 listings times 10 cents per month, that's $20 a month. But $20 per month for a whole year is $240. That's 240 tacos.
Yes, if you didn't already know, our math relies on taco math.
240 LA tacos.
Yes.
To be specific. Or that would be like 60 coffees.
Yeah, just about.
At $4 a coffee.
Yeah.
If you go to like a hipster shop. Or Starbucks.
Yeah.
Or that's like 2 phone bill payments.
Yeah.
Right? For the year. I mean, that's 2 plane tickets to go somewhere. So
I believe what you're getting at is 10 cents can quickly add up to really being a valuable savings.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was why we did our inventory check. What we found.
Yeah, we found some stuff.
We
We found things.
Yeah.
Some probably our fault. Some we don't know why. Well, we know we bought it, but we don't know what happened to them.
All right. So one of the things that we found, number one, things that we thought were listed were not actually listed.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we really do list mostly on 3 platforms: eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. If the item wasn't on any of those platforms, but it was in a bin, it really doesn't exist as a listing.
Okay, so let's go back really quickly. So as the way that we started this check, our bins are labeled in chronological order, numerical order.
Numerical.
So we have been, I think it was like A1 through A79 or A80. I started on A1, I went all the way through A80. As I pulled out bin A1, I pulled the items out, and then I would search for it in eBay because that is our main platform. Anything and everything is always listed on eBay first before it gets cross-posted. So I would search for things on eBay, and then I would do a cross-check onto Poshmark if applicable, and then Mercari. There were things that were in the bins, and if things are in a bin, they should technically be listed, but they weren't.
Yeah.
There was quite a few of that.
Yeah, when I was around, I'd help out, even if it just meant just helping take the bins, move them around. But the interesting part was between bin 1 through 6, those got consolidated into like
two bins.
And that's how much stuff was either not worth listing, not listed, or like not worth listing because of comps too.
Okay, so we found that there were items that were in our bins that we technically should have listed because they were in the bin, were not actually listed. Then we found items that were in the bins that were listed at an atrocious price. Like, what were we thinking?
Yeah, like why didn't that J. Crew sweater sell? Maybe because it was like $10 over.
No, it was like, no, not $10. I mean, we had things in here that we probably listed early 2000, maybe early to mid 2018, that at the end of 2018 still made sense to leave in our store, but by now hadn't sold, and they were probably overpriced by $15 to $30, some of the items. Items depreciate over time. And so we had that issue where things were priced really high and didn't sell. Then we had things that were, I think, mistitled.
Yeah.
Wrong like item specifics, so they were just in the wrong category, stuff like that. We had issues on eBay that I also found where an item, let's say this awesome Deadpool t-shirt, the title would say Deadpool Peekaboo t-shirt, but the picture would be of a Batman t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to at least 5 to 6 listings of ours where I would search an item, I would pull out the item from our bin, I would look it up, and as I'm looking at the item on the listing and looking at the item in my hands, the item in my hands has sequins, the item in the listing has no sequins. And I'm going back and forth thinking, did I make this mistake? But I would cross-check to Poshmark and Mercari and see the correct photo. So I knew it wasn't a man-made error.
Yeah, human error.
Because I always start on eBay and cross-post to the other two, which means that if the other two have the correct photo, eBay has to have the correct photo. But that was wrong. So that was at least 5 to 6 listings that had the wrong photo uploaded. And then what I found was the photo that had uploaded on eBay was actually pictures of an item that had already sold on eBay, and somehow eBay pulled those sold pictures and put it on our active listings.
Yeah, and the tricky part about this whole thing, there is very little chance we would actually figure that out
If,
we weren't doing this inventory check.
yeah.
Because that item is probably never going to sell on eBay if it shows a blue shirt, but the title and everything else is red.
So that was another thing. Then there was duplicate listings that we found on eBay.
There's a couple of those.
I found, you know, a Madewell red sweater. Well, when I searched it, after I pulled the item out and I had it in my hands and I would search in our listings Madewell, I would find 2 of the same listings. And then I found relistings of items that had already sold as I was going through our store. And what else did I find?
Well, so that's just talking about the really mostly just eBay. But the other thing that happened is, like we said too, we cross post, right? So with that in mind, our listings are on the 3 different platforms. Well, we do our best and we're working on getting better about that. But when something sells and we're out and about busy with our other jobs, we don't always take it off the other platforms.
Yeah.
So what happened is she was coming up on things that had sold on a different platform that were still active on either eBay, Posh, or Mercari.
I found a Maeve tank top that was listed on Poshmark and Mercari, but I didn't have a physical item in hand and it wasn't listed on eBay. So when I cross-referenced it on my inventory sheet, my bookkeeping log, I realized that tank top sold April of 2019, but it was still listed on Poshmark and Mercari.
That was human error.
So those were, I think, all the issues that we found.
Yeah, pretty much it.
But it was a lot, considering, I mean, it was like a few different errors, but it was multiples of each error, which we wouldn't have found if we didn't do this inventory check.
Yeah.
At the end of that, I think we freed up
Oh, there was a lot of empty bins.
a lot of empty bins.
Yeah, we went from, what, about 80 bins, estimated, right?
Mm-hmm.
To, we probably had about almost 10 empty bins, maybe?
Yeah.
Or close to empty bins. There's a few bins that had hard goods that when I went in and pulled things out, those bins technically aren't empty, but they have like 2 things in them.
Okay, so we started at almost 1,200 items. We are now at like 1,040-ish, I believe.
Yeah.
So the things that we ended up pulling down were items that once we searched up current comps, made no sense to try and sell because we would just lose money. Items that were given to us for free that we would try to sell for friends or family.
Or things that we thought, well, we got it for free.
We might as well list it, but might have made us $1, and it wasn't worth us keeping it and storing it and trying to sell it and taking up a listing and paying for it to be listed. So a lot of the items we took down are either gonna get donated or tossed into a yard sale pile for when it gets a little bit warmer.
Yeah. The other thing we pulled out was in hard goods. Same reason. Hard goods that at one point, some vintage electronic pieces that were worth selling, that were hot because we were selling them at the time. And, you know, when things are selling, you start picking them up and then all of a sudden you're left with a small stash of items that are no longer selling. So we had those that we just pulled out. Same reason. Just not worth it.
Yep. Okay, so changes that we're making. So as we were doing the inventory check, I also came up with this bright idea during the inventory check that I was gonna give all new SKU numbers or custom numbers to each of our items. If you've seen some of our videos in the past, we've talked about how we created our SKU, and our custom number was really long because it included the date we picked it up, the price we got it for, and then the item location. So it was long. I have a new bookkeeping sheet that I started, and so I created shorter SKUs
Significantly shorter SKUs.
So if the item is in bin A5, then it says A5-5.
Yeah, A-6.
Yes. So each of our items got new stickers with that number. Each item is gonna have that specific number, and it's only gonna get used once, which is gonna
and
make
also like in terms of your stickers and for the SKUs, you put them all on label sheets.
Yep.
And because they're never gonna repeat, you just had to go A1 through whatever fit on the sheet. And there you go, yeah.
And then the reason we also did this is it's gonna make it easier to pull up that item for shipping.
Yeah, for shipping.
And then also while shipping, someone is also going to keep track of the SKUs in a handy dandy little Excel sheet. So at the end of the week for my spreadsheet bookkeeping Sunday, I can reference his sheet and then cross that off on my bookkeeping sheet, and we'll know which items have already sold. And then I can just input the numbers and we'll know what we made and how much we made on those items.
Yeah, and the reason this is helping too, the regenerating the numbers, is the fact that they will never repeat. We had some instances where, because we were trying to reuse some of the numbers, we'd have two numbers of the same SKU sometimes.
Yeah.
Won't happen anymore because
all new
numbers, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, so we actually have like
Let's see if you can
3
see.
trash bags behind us.
And Ginger.
Oh, there it is. 3 trash bags. And Ginger.
And Ginger.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, so those 3 bags have, well, I think we have like another bag outside. But
Possibly.
that's the stuff that we took out, and we will be showing you all what we're not going to sell anymore.
We'll do our best to show you most of it. And it's not to say it's kind of like an anti-BOLO list, but in some cases you might find some of those things sell for you. Awesome. It just doesn't work for us. But yeah, I'm excited to show you guys that too. We got hard goods, electronics, a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
A lot of clothes.
Alright,
Yeah.
but
Hopefully this helps. And we're curious. Now, in your opinion, let us know in the comments. Do you do an inventory check?
have you ever done one?
Have you done one ever? Yeah. And if you did, was it helpful? And how? Or if you don't, why not? Just curious how you run your business. Everyone, that's the beauty of online e-commerce. We all have the ability to set up our business the way we want. So with that, let us know what you guys do. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit the bell. And keep an eye out for that
Anti-BOLO. BOLO for our anti-BOLO.
Yeah, video. That'll be coming out later this week. With that, bye-bye.